Hey everyone, you are listening to the Rival and Queen podcast. I'm Ashley. Thanks for tuning in and being on this journey for the last almost a year actually with Sarah and I. This is our final episode of season 1. We will be taking a really quick break for 3 short weeks, and we will be coming back with lots of new interviews and content coming your way. So stay tuned for that. On this week, we interview Marc Boudreau, who is the creator and founder of B&V Media. We work with B&V Media. Marc helps produce our show. So we get to recap the season and learn more about Marc. So join us. Let's do it. Let's dive in.
Sing it, Sarah.
I'm not gonna lag in the words right now. Oh, down you now. This is what it feels like. Whew. That's satisfied like.
He was such a babe too.
It's satisfied like 16th of my rave needs.
Sarah, you're flying by the seat of your pants.
I've got so many emotions right
Why?
now. And none of them have anything to do with the last episode of the podcast for the season. But that is emotional for me. I don't know. I just feel like I've got so much energy. Yesterday, actually, I went for a run. I did Pilates. I went for a walk. And then I debated going for a bike ride because I feel like I have all this energy pent up inside of me. And I just can't get it out. Like, I just want to go to a rave. I want to go to a rave and dance for 12 hours and have hundreds of people touch me.
Maybe New Zealand.
Can I do that there?
They're basically back to normal.
I want to go there.
Getting tickets.
You can come with me.
We'll never see either of you again.
I think, well, would you come with me? I don't think you would.
Right now, probably no, because I just can't. But
That's what I mean. It's an EDM festival. I feel like, Marc, you would be an excellent date for that.
Certainly.
I would love that. I feel like I would be very safe with Marc, although I think he would leave me. I think we would lose each other.
I don't know, you're both single, so this could be problematic.
But I don't even think of it in that regard. I feel like we'd each just be having such a beautiful time, and then suddenly we wouldn't be with each other. And I don't even think either of us would be bothered by it.
No, because we would eventually find one.
Where do you get that?
I don't know. I don't want either of you to go missing. Please.
Do you know the one time I was at we're wildly off track, an EDM concert, a massive one, was ultra, 200,000 people.
You went to Ultra, Miami.
No, in Split, Croatia. Very few rules. It was great. And a lot of great people performed. But listen to this story. So this is the only time I've ever gotten to go to that, because none of my friends are into anything like this. But for me, it's just like I'm in a crowd with hundreds of thousands of people who all have like high energy. There's massive music playing. Like, you can just dance and like literally let loose. Oh my God, my heart. I like want it so bad right now. Anyways, we see this group near the front with a Canadian flag. So we like make our way over to them. And one of the guys was like this guy I hadn't seen in 4 years who I used to make out with in university.
No.
Did we run into him somewhere too?
I don't think we have, no. His name is Steve Maynard. He's lovely. Like, we got along so well, but it was so funny. I like saw him. I was like, asked his.
Did you make out when you saw him?
Mm-hmm.
Because why?
I like, we've already done this 3 times.
And like, you'd be so happy to see anyone you knew.
What are the chances in Split, Croatia, that you were gonna run into a person you made out with 4 years before and have never seen since?
Low.
So low.
Oh, very low.
Very low.
And what was funny is like we never communicated. Like, we only saw each other in the summers during university when I would come back into Halifax and he would stay here. And every time we'd run into each other like once or twice a summer, we'd just make out and then never communicate after. But we were like the grandest friends.
Sarah's got all the feels today. And if anyone's wondering whose voice we have joining us today,
Ashley, do the intro.
we are joined by one of our producer. I don't want to say one of our producers. We're all producers. We're all a team. But the producer and owner of B&V Media, Marc Boudreau. Marc, welcome.
What's going on?
The voice behind the magic.
Yeah, it's nice to, normally I am in the studio with you guys, but since the pandemic, I haven't been able to.
No.
And we've never had you on the podcast, Marc, so formally.
No. Yeah, this is what I sound like. Well, sort of. This
Great
is my
voice.
radio voice, come on.
Okay. Ballpark. Regardless, radio voice or not, which is it's not. Welcome to the Rival and Queen podcast.
Oh, that's
Welcome.
exciting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
We're so excited. It's hard to believe. This is our last episode of season 1, Sarah.
It is. And for anyone who's wondering, if anyone's new by chance, I'm Sarah.
I'm Ashley. We love you.
I'm Mark.
And this is Mark.
Marc Boudreau.
We love you guys. Thank you so much for listening and being on this crazy ride with Sarah and I. It's been wild.
I think this will be episode number 48.
Yeah,
Wow.
you're right.
We
Crazy.
started September 19th, 2019. And now this will be out on August 6th,
Mhm.
2020.
That's pretty crazy. Time flies, eh?
We never missed a week. We didn't take 1 week off.
Dedication.
Dedication, but we are going to take a little pause for a few weeks as we prepare for season 2. So we have so many exciting things and guests and topics coming at you. Yeah, it's going to be good. So
Yes.
stay tuned for all the things to come.
Yeah, so we'll be on a mini hiatus for 3 weeks, guys. You'll have to do without, but we will be back.
But they can re-listen to episodes.
If you missed some, go back. We'll post our favorites on Instagram. But we'll be back the week of September 3rd, I think.
And also don't forget to check out our YouTube channel that we launched. I don't know, Sarah, maybe like 6 or 7 episodes ago. So check that out. If you want to see the crazy antics, you can watch and listen at the same time.
A treat for the eyes and ears.
If you want to see what Sarah looks like when she sounds like this, check out
yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh you don't want to miss it.
Guys, I'm sorry that I'm wild this episode. It's bittersweet. Like, anyways, it's just like a celebration. I got so many emotions. Who knows? It's a crazy day. Okay, before we dive in,
I was just going to lift this up and say,
Yeah.
tell us what we're drinking, Sarah.
This episode is brought to you by
unofficially
Unofficially.
and unasked,
They have not asked.
Not us.
You
by
might want to.
India beer made by Molson, but India is a Newfoundland beer, Newfoundland, Labrador, my homeland. Shout out.
But India is a country in.
India is also a
It's
country.
so good. It's so smooth.
But India beer is a Newfoundland beer. You can only get it in Newfoundland. You can't get it here. And my mother drove over on the ferry, God love her, and brought me a case. And bless her heart. And
Shout out.
I'm sharing with you guys. What do you think?
I think it's great.
It's actually pretty good. It's a nice cottage beer.
So I don't
Amazing
actually
drinking.
like beer really, but I love this. Like I could drink one of these every day.
It's sweet in a nice way.
It's just like
And
light.
I love the basic label. There's nothing on the back. It's just straight up.
A Newfoundland dog, man's best friend.
A growl.
Makes sense.
So in this episode, guys, I think we're gonna, first of all, we wanted to bring Mark out to, lift the veil and tell you a little bit about what
The
happens
magic.
behind the scenes. But we also want to reflect on the podcast over the last year.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about all the crazy moments and between you and I, but then through COVID, Mark wasn't with us physically. He was doing all the editing and putting the episode together. And I'm like, what has Mark really thought about some of the things? Like, do you laugh out loud when you listen back or feel uncomfortable in certain places?
No, I don't get uncomfortable.
Okay.
You don't, because
Only when we talk about periods and pelvic floors.
I don't even think he
I
gets.
forgot about that. Yeah.
I don't
The
even.
old pelvic floors.
You
There's a couple episodes.
You've sat in a lot of detailed conversations about birth, pelvic floors,
hormones.
so many hormone
Sex.
conversations.
Well, two other podcasts I produce, Lather, Rinse, Repeat, and Book of Love. They both had on. I don't know what the correct like a sex educator, I guess you would say.
Oh, Cynthia Loyce. Oh,
Cynthia
that was
Loyce
no, that
and
was from
Serena.
Wrong podcast.
So they've had on like pleasure and intimacy coaches.
Amazing.
There's
So-
literally no chance we could do that because I would die.
Yeah, there's nothing, no line that we haven't crossed in the studio, verbally speaking.
So we're PG then.
Yes, yeah,
So Mark, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about you and B&B Media?
sure. Well, I'm from Halifax, born and raised, and I'm 31 years old. I know, right?
Just a baby.
That sounds nice because 31 I thought was old, but I guess it's not that old.
Well, I'm 33, Mark. So
And I'm 32. We're like a lovely little triad.
Yeah, happy. You had a little birthday the other week.
yeah.
I'm sure we addressed that anyways, but
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a marketing background, marketing degree. I started a job in sales after university a couple of years ago and lasted 3 weeks. Yeah.
I did not.
Long
even
time.
18 days. I say 3 weeks, even number. And I couldn't do it. I always kind of knew that I wasn't going to be able to really work a 9-to-5 job, but then actually being in that reality, I was like, I'm miserable. Like I get off every night or every dinner or every Friday, and my mind's on the clock counting down to when I got to go back to work.
Nothing worse.
I know, and I was like, I don't know how. Like, is this normal? I can't. Whatever, I can't do it. So my mom actually suggested, start a podcast because you love talking to people. You've always been way more interested in people as opposed to things. And so I was like, it's a great idea. I'll quit my job. I don't know if that was a great idea, but turned out to be a great idea. But I had served in restaurants throughout university, so I was like, I can fall back on that. Serve for it happened to be the summer when I quit that job, so it was kind of perfect timing. Start the podcast with my friend Ben Bramer and see what happens.
What podcast was that?
So this podcast was Brand New View, and it was still available, but we stopped that last summer. But it was essentially, I was like, the premise was, there's got to be other people out there that were like me, started that 9-to-5 job, were miserable, quit, and they want to figure out what they want to do that just makes them get up in the morning, look forward to it. So we're like, let's search out entrepreneurs, self-starters, people who are living life on their own terms, and have a conversation with them, see, life from their perspective. And it was incredible. We met so many amazing people, had really no idea that this creative network in Halifax existed, and came across the Halifax Social Network. It was started by Ruth and Sean McMullen. And then eventually that led to having Ryan Williams as a guest on Brand New View. And that was towards the end. I think he was one of the 4th or 5th last episode. And he was great. We hit it off immediately. I mean, who doesn't hit it off with Ryan Williams? If you've met I am Ryan Williams.
And he's actually been on our podcast as well, I think back in December.
Yeah. So he was, that was actually around the time when he mentioned that you guys were potentially looking for a producer.
Oh, perfect alignment.
And I was like, hey, I produce podcasts, Ryan. Maybe I can do it. And we had you on for his podcast. And that's when we first met. And that was in 2 studios prior.
And you didn't run away.
And I didn't run away.
Yeah, so
Sarah was on 5 out of 10.
You cried that day, Sarah.
Okay, but it wasn't my fault that I cried.
I forgot about
But
that.
the dogs.
I know, and now I'm back on an emotional roller coaster. So
It's
for
okay.
anyone who's
That's
new
fine.
here today, I don't always behave like this. But on that note, tell us what you thought of us the first time you met us, because we cold met each other.
And that's a lot of energy. Ryan Williams, Sarah Murphy, and Ashley Kilton.
yeah.
That's a good point. Well, to be fair, Ryan's energy, he set the tone. So I was expecting a fair amount of energy because he hyped you guys up. He's like, they're awesome. They bring a lot of fun to the table.
And then I cried.
And then you cried. And I was like, this is the opposite.
And yelled at Ryan at least 3 times.
That does sound
That's
about.
a good episode. You should check that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, didn't run away. We hit it off, and we eventually came to terms, and you guys became a B&B original,
Mhm.
which
Yeah,
I
we
guess
did.
I'll get into that later. But yeah, since when was it? February we started?
Yeah, I think we started in February working together.
Really?
And we haven't looked back since.
No, full steam ahead.
Yeah.
6 full months.
6 full months. So yeah, B&B Media has been great to me so far. You guys have been awesome. Ryan's been an amazing client, and we've been taking on a few more clients over the pandemic. We're really lucky that people still wanted to listen to podcasts. So we're starting to grow a lot. And
How many podcasts are you working with now?
come September, we'll have 17.
Amazing.
And that 15, or maybe actually 18. and 16 of those will be like active.
Crazy.
And if you're listening and you're thinking about starting a podcast or you want to and you don't know how, you're the guy.
Mark's your guy.
Mark's your guy.
Call me up.
We'll also have all Mark's contact details.
People
in the
ask
show notes.
us.
Mhm.
I won't say their name, but someone.
We do direct people to you, and they come and they're excited. They love you.
That's good to hear. Hey, I'm hoping podcasting kind of just becomes, I don't want to give any ideas, but just like a hobby to do. Like you go to the Boardroom Cafe and have some beers with your friends. You go to a podcast studio and record a podcast with your friends.
That'd be amazing.
Like
So
there's several
cool.
different studios, that kind of thing.
I love that.
Oh, I just gave it away. Oops.
Well, you do edit. So Mark, for everyone who doesn't know and is listening, Mark takes all our podcasts after we record them, shortens them. If you can imagine, we're not always the most concise, and
Edits out the bad parts.
edits out the bad parts.
No,
and
there's never any bad part.
Well, sometimes things need to come out.
surely I've cried on a podcast. And then helps us produce it. So makes the sound quality sound great, makes sure we don't make fools of ourselves, and then we share it with you guys. And we really love that. We love that you do that for us.
I love that I can be part of the process. It's awesome to watch not just your podcast, but so many podcasts grow and reach so many people and have an impact. And that's the coolest thing that podcasting is brought, is like, there's no barriers. You can reach anyone in the world as long as they've got connection to the internet.
I also feel
World domination.
yeah, world domination is basically what's on Mark's mind. But you know what? Respect.
We're into it.
I also feel like you must learn so much, because I even think about the topics and like what we learn, and then you listen to, like you said, 17 other podcasts a week.
I'm really becoming that whole jack of all trades, master of none. I know
Like,
a
I
little bit
think
of
I
everything.
heard that something. But I don't
Although you
know.
are probably becoming the master of the pelvic floor.
Yes.
Just hearing all about women's body parts on every podcast. I love that.
Yeah, like Kegels. Are they good? Kegels.
Yeah.
Because I heard don't overdo it though.
There's a certain technique.
Stephanie Brown did teach us that when
Right.
she was on. Yeah. So she said you
Look into
gotta
that.
do it when you're breathing out.
Visual.
When you breathe out, you tighten your Kegels.
Like you're trying to pick up a blueberry, for anyone that didn't listen to that.
Oh, so
Or
you
drink
have
a
to be
milkshake.
delicate.
Delicate.
Okay.
Because I think some people overdo it, and then that just makes the muscles tighter than they're meant to be.
Mm.
So good one.
So I actually want to dive back into this question that you asked, is like,
Oh, you still don't want to talk about
no,
before?
I see, I'm not upset about talking about the pelvic floor, but if you start asking me about anything about intimate about my relationships or love life, then I'm
No,
uncomfortable.
we don't want you to go
we're
off
no,
the rails
we're not going
today.
to talk about that.
Mark, yeah, so Ashley asked you, what do you think sometimes when you listen to our podcast? When we haven't been together, have there been any moments during the pandemic when we were recording away from you that you then listened to the podcast and been like, what the hell?
I think we're better at it.
Yeah, there wasn't many times. There were a few times where I was like, Sarah may be reaching her limit. She really needs to be around people sooner than later.
That's probably a very fair statement.
That was probably 2 weeks in.
But honestly, you guys you're very professional now. You get right into it. You have your intro all smoothed out. Honestly, not many times that I'm one questioning my existence around you too.
Well, it's really interesting thinking back to our first episode with
Mhm.
Katie Barnstead, and that's episode 1, obviously, which everyone should check out. And we pre-recorded a few other ones with friends of ours that will probably never surface.
They will never see the light of day.
Oh,
But I mean,
Patreon.
but everything, it was really interesting how things just kind of evolved, Sarah, and the community helped us and our listeners, like our faithful listeners, kind of shape where this is going. And I think we're finally in a place that it feels so good.
I know, we often say, like, we love everyone listening. We really appreciate you guys so much. But we do often say, like, we started this very selfishly
We say that all the time.
for ourselves and for our own self-interest. And like, because we want to learn about the people that we want to get to know better, and then also the topics we want to learn about. And thankfully you guys seem to enjoy those, or you send us topics you want to hear, and we dive into those. But yeah, we very much refined, I think, our focus, and it's kind of crazy to think about.
And I think that from day one, we always kind of had this, idea, these like floating things that we just didn't know which ones we were going to pick up and do. This is my visual in my mind right now. But really, it still kind of has all become the premise, which is like the joy, the discovery, inspiration, like talking to people could be any industry about any topic, but what gets them excited, what lights them up. And we just love, just like you, Mark, starting the podcast was talking to people. I love going around Halifax and seeing people that we've met on or through the podcast, and you just have so many new friendships. It's so fun.
I know. I think we both, or all three of us, love to learn, which is incredible. And this has been an incredible way to learn, like from talking to people and their expertise. But like you said, so selfish. But we've also made so many unreal friends in the last less than year. And like, how do you make adult friends?
I've never
start a podcast, honestly.
But like genuine, real people and friends.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
You need some friends?
Start a podcast.
Call Marc Boudreau.
It's so true. I mean, like I said, Brand New View doesn't happen anymore, but there are still several guests that we had on that I still get together and have that conversation again, just because it's so motivating to sit down with someone who kind of thinks the same way in terms of the way they see business and life.
And you really learn so much in 60 to 90 minutes about that person's story, where they are in their life, that you feel really connected, I think, in a unique way.
I have a few rapid fire questions on this, but actually before we do say this, I do just want to say, like, one on that point, Mark has become one of our very good friends. We hang out with him regularly.
True.
We're in his home right now.
We're in his home right now.
Well,
you wouldn't know it. But
my parents' home.
I mean,
I don't
that's
live
fine.
this lavishly.
It's a beautiful, beautiful home.
I mean, I do because I live at home. But
He's single, folks.
ladies.
I can't. So yeah, we are so thankful for all the friends we've made, Mark included. Jess, even another. Like, we've made so many friends. The other thing,
Which is great. I thought you were friends with her before the podcast.
No,
we met her through my brother.
And through the cookie tasting is how I met her.
Right.
The other,
We need to do another thing like that.
Yeah, we're into nachos, I think.
we talked about doing a nacho tasting.
There's so many things that so much potential after this friggin'.
We'll figure it out. We'll get deliveries and just have a spread.
A spread. All right, I've got to bring up some questions here. Okay. And then we'll talk about Greg. Because, as you said, how could we go an episode without talking about Ashley's brother?
Our unofficial special guest.
When I reflect on the podcast, I always come up with these questions, put everyone on the spot. But I had kind of like three things that came to me. And one was there one conversation that changed your perspective? Like, what changed your mind? Because I got my mind changed all the time.
I always go back to this this one story that Dorico Simmons said. He's sorry, I'm just here a million times.
You're just gonna have to edit this though.
Yeah, I know, no problem. Just a moment for me. I always go back to one of the conversations that Ben, my co-host on Brand New View, and I had with our guest, Dorico Simmons. And he's someone I grew up with here in the West End of Halifax, and he's now an activist. And a lot of you from Halifax, you've probably heard of him or seen his name lately because he's very, very vocal and prominent with the Black Lives Matter movement here in Halifax. And he's worked with Phoenix House and a lot of different youth programs here in Halifax, in particular Mulgrave Park. And one of the stories he told me is when he was working with teenagers, boys who were living in a home. He was cleaning up for them. They were out in the afternoon. They were playing or whatever. And there was like a bottle of pop. There's probably, an inch left. You look at it, you think backwash, like that's nothing. And he goes over and he's going to throw it out. And he just started, one of the other workers was like, no, don't throw that out. Like, the kid might want that. He's like, really? He still puts it back and continues cleaning every area. And the kid comes back, and lo and behold, he sees it. And he's like, oh, thank God. So thirsty. and takes it and puts it back. And it's like, I thought that was garbage. And this boy saw it like it made his day. Like, shit. I really put this perspective.
Interesting.
We're lucky.
Is there anything that changed your perspective from any of our conversations, Ash?
Well, I didn't really think too much about it because I was really into Mars.
Sorry,
Like really
yeah.
That was like a
beautiful.
good story.
I know. God, now I have to follow that. Beautiful. I don't know. No, nothing. I'm out of. I don't know. Give me a second, Sarah.
Okay,
I
you
know
don't
you
worry.
want- I know you have
can
an answer.
cut this.
I've got oh God. I'm gonna go and you think about it.
Yeah.
And if I can give you a tip, maybe open up your podcast app and give it a run through the R&Q playlist. You can see our past episodes.
Oh, I did that earlier.
Here's one that changed my perspective. So I have I have opinions on everything, even if I have no idea what I'm talking about. And the way I deliver them sounds like I know what I'm talking about. I often have to add the caveat that people should go research whatever I tell them. But one of the conversations we had that really, truly changed my perspective, and I love that. Anytime your mind gets changed, I think that's hugely powerful, was our conversation with Verena, because I had such a negative association with religion prior to our conversation with Verena. And her perspective and open heart and just, standpoint of love. I love that conversation. I've gone back and listened to that podcast so many times with her.
That was a really good one.
And that's like a pretty fundamental thing to like change your point of view on, like religion as a whole.
You usually leave, you never come back.
No.
It's always one way.
Well, and in fairness, I haven't gone back into a church or anything like that, but I think it just made me really understand and have compassion for the power and the value it has for people, which I thought was cool. And that's like very heavy, but that was like the one thing that changed my perspective a ton.
What's coming to mind for me when I was just looking through our past episodes was some of the mindset stuff, even around money. And the one that we did with Dr. Mal, which is even around like how your thoughts control your so many different things in your body and your hormones, which I still struggle with, but I do always remember those mindset things when I'm having a bad day. I'm like, it's just in your head, like just change, like I'll try and change the narrative. And I'm like, okay, so that's something I think has stuck with me the most. That's kind of try to change my thinking.
I love that.
Yeah. I try to, whenever I'm getting flustered, I try to just pause and say, okay, you can be flustered or you can not be flustered.
Yeah. And even just saying, I don't need that thought. I don't need that. That doesn't serve me, because apparently I've learned that from a psychologist too, that it changes something and you're like, oh, your brain's like, I don't need that. Okay, I'll move on to the next thought. But you just have to keep reminding yourself.
To be conscious of it for sure, yeah.
So very selfish again. Great tips we're learning.
I know
how to navigate our adult lives.
You're right. And in that episode, Dr. Mal, she taught us too that if you're in a state of gratitude, you can't be fearful. So just make the gratitude list. I forgot about those things. So many things.
So many things. There's too many.
What is the podcast episode? We're going to do our top 5 learnings in 2 minutes. But what is the podcast episode that made you the most uncomfortable? Because I know mine.
I know what you're going to say. The one, and I don't want to say uncomfortable because of the topic.
Uncomfortable is not bad. Uncomfortable is just like.
No, I would say the one with Ben when we did Eldorado hats, because it was the first time that you and I did one separate.
Okay.
You were in Newfoundland. And I feel like there was a few slight technical. I couldn't get into that episode because I was a little bit uneasy.
Stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the only one, if I listened, I have never listened to that one back actually, but I think I could feel that.
Yeah, that one I did listen to it back. I edited that.
You were
one.
a bit drunk too, I think.
I don't think I was. Maybe I don't think I was. But no, my internet was so
Not drunk,
bad.
but like you were drinking wine. And
I did,
by
by the end of it, ended up being slightly tipsy. I do remember that. But
you were so
I also
happy,
think, no, I think it's because I was also very stressed when we did that, because the internet at my parents' house in Newfoundland, my mom, Mark, we got to cut this part. I can't call them my parents. The honest to God, the internet at my mom's house in Newfoundland is super slow, and it was so laggy that I was like, you guys would say something and I would chime in 5 minutes after you had said it, and it was stressful. You're right.
Yeah, I know which one you're going to say. I can't wait. because I know.
Yeah, the podcast that made me the most uncomfortable, you can hear it in my voice the whole way through, is the Momgasm podcast.
Yeah.
I love that one.
They're
I
so
loved
fun,
it.
and they're the best.
They're so fun. We had on Lindsay, Uma, and Sarah Cresswell, and they are awesome. They have their own podcast, Momgasm, and it's all about like moms. I can't even talk about this.
It's like embracing your
Your
sexuality,
sexuality.
and they just happen to be moms.
Moms being juicy. That's how they
Yes.
describe it.
That's great.
Love yourself, love your body.
And yeah, that one was such a good one for me, but literally, my head on
Just
the
tell
floor.
yourself you're not uncomfortable.
Is that okay?
Check yourself there.
Just do
Come
it.
on. But you, Mark, any come to mind for the old rivaling team?
So I was searching through. Whoa.
Hello.
Forgot this is still connected.
That's okay.
What are we gonna do with the Zoom?
Oh no, we just leave this.
We just leave it.
You gotta watch
behind the
Zoom
scenes.
for the real deal.
Behind the scenes.
I was scrolling through the episodes, like you were saying, and like nothing really comes to mind. That's why I had to scroll. But I guess it would probably be Andrea and Carrie talking about the skin injectables, just because like I hate needles.
Okay.
I didn't
Well,
know
that's
that
such a
about
great
you.
Yeah, I don't like needles at all. I'll do like a shot to the arm, but like.
All right.
Sarah's making a note of that, just so we don't forget.
Okay, so the other thing I want to do this was my personal reflection that I wanted us to do together to reflect on a year is what were your, like, can we come up with our top 5 learnings or anything that changed our behavior?
Can I just throw out a few that just came to mind? One of them,
Shoot
because I
them
did
out.
have some notes. The one we did on cannabis was super informative. I feel like it was perfect timing with legalization. That one was cool. Sarah and I smoked some weed. We took a break and then we came back. So check that
Stop
out.
laughing, Mark.
So I felt like that one was a lot of the wine tasting ones we did with Jess Babin were super informative because I enjoy drinking wine. So I feel like that was a really good thing to learn and practical. Yeah, some of the skincare stuff, like I really love skincare.
The beer tasting one was good too, because I'm not necessarily into beer and I learned a lot. The ones that I came up with, the skincare routine, the one with Carrie and Nurse Andrea, I now have a skincare routine and my skin has not broken out since that episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I wear sunscreen every damn
And the bend,
day.
I'm sorry, the bend helps, I think, like it's
That was
cured my skin.
one of my big learning points. I had no idea you could swallow skincare products.
Inside out. Thanks to
Inside out.
Ben Skincare, Ben Beauty.
Very cool. I thought Dr. Mal's episode was awesome.
Oh, she's so good.
She did a lot. She reinforced the gratitude thing, and that is a practice I also do every day. I think I've changed my lifestyle a lot because of this podcast.
I like Harriet's too, just because I love her.
love her.
She's great.
Harriet Schumacher, she talked to us about leadership.
There's so many. We literally could list every single
I
one.
thought the Two Crows one was good with Jeremy and with Nick.
Yeah.
It's cool to hear about that process.
Yeah, to learn all about beer. There's so many great episodes. The other thing that I, just really loved overall, and this encompasses a ton of people, is like we just got to know a ton of different entrepreneurs, which I think is an interest point for us, and like how a lot of them are still very much in the hustle and like the reality of building their business, but just how they started and like, because people get into it in so many different ways, and it's kind of cool to see and hear their stories.
It is really cool because there's no right time to become an entrepreneur. So you have people that come right out of university, people that come right out of high school, people that have left an industry after 10 years, 20 years. It's
Or
really
have
cool.
had multiple different like startups or businesses that they've done and they're just still trying to figure out. I have to say Vicky Nina and Jacqueline LaRue's episode, just like straight girl talk, I feel like. We had to do 2 episodes. I forgot about
Oh
that.
yeah, that was one of the first
Because
ones.
we had the best conversation. Yeah, that one.
And we learned all about the music industry with Dave Sampson, who we have to give a shout out. He's like a rising star. We got him early, but he's going to be our celeb episode that basically I think keeps growing in the
Yes,
future.
ECMA award winner.
Also,
2-time ECMA award.
Two-time.
yeah, so we got to
winner.
see him perform at a private house
I
concert
saw
the
that
other day, which
on
was
your
dope.
Instagram. Where was that? Some basin?
Bedford
Yeah.
Basin,
Nice.
undisclosed location.
Thank you. You know who you are.
Private parties only.
And speaking of celebrities, let's give Taylor Crosby a shout out because we have, I think, almost 400 views on that episode on the YouTube channel. And she's lovely.
Yeah, she's our local celeb as well, Taylor.
Crosby.
Yeah, the Crosby
Big
fan.
name.
Big name.
Big name up in Cole Harbor.
Did they win last night?
They did.
They did, yeah.
Mhm.
1-1.
1-1.
Yeah, I don't think Montreal can win that game.
Are you a Montreal fan?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm a Devils fan.
New Jersey, baby.
But I mean, go Lightning because Pleasant plays for.
Yeah, they were like in the top 4.
Yeah, so they're just playing the round robin for seeding, so it's
Yeah,
not.
no big deal.
It's whatever.
Great.
Child's
Okay, so our top 5 learnings from the podcast. So what did you say?
Cannabis.
We
and
learned
wine
about cannabis
tasting.
and wine. Those are great. I'm going to say skincare routine. I changed my skincare routine. The other one I'm going to say actually is the sleep episode. I learned a lot in that one when we learned how to like actually how our bodies work in sleep.
That was a cool one. Yeah, there was one particular part. It was like just training yourself. Like, what did you say when you wake up in the middle of like get up
Yeah,
until
kind
you're
of.
tired and then go back to bed or something.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it basically programs or tries to reprogram you to say you're not supposed to be reading a book right now. You're supposed to be
Right.
sleeping, and then you'll eventually get tired.
Yeah.
She was lovely too. She was awesome,
She's
Christina.
from Vegas.
She's from Las Vegas.
Ew. Is that your furthest away? Guest?
Yes.
She is our furthest away guest. That is very true.
And she specializes in sleep training for young kids and babies.
And adults.
And adults.
Because I think
Human beings.
But she also has 3 or 4 kids. I don't know if she's had her 4th yet. So she's probably a master with the children.
she is a queen. All
And
right.
I like that you brought up Harriet too, because she's just so powerful and I love her.
How to actually take care of your career. That was another hugely impactful episode.
Yeah. Like I want to know, like, how do you walk into a room and naturally command? So that's what Harriet does.
She does, and she's so tall and gorgeous. You're a fan. Mark's a big fan. Harriet, we hope you're
And their last
listening.
name Schumacher, like that's just a power
She's
stance right there.
She's the best. We love her.
this.
She does an awesome job at social media and career coaching and stuff.
Totally. And we love all our guests. I think every single person, we've given so many shout outs, but every single person we've had.
Tay,
on.
we had Tay Landry. We love her.
Yeah, Danielle Sapa, she was on as well. She
Oh,
does all the
actually,
money.
she's our furthest guest, all the way from Australia.
Yeah, Australia beats Las Vegas, I think, for
Well,
distance.
by way of
Just a little bit.
Halifax.
Mhm.
I still think Australia is further
She lives there.
than Las Vegas.
She wasn't on vacation.
Yeah, that's
Why did
it.
she move there? I don't even know her, but
With a boy,
Yeah, she did tell
but
us
not
our
the
whole.
boy she's with now.
Yeah, she moved there with her past lover
He went to law school there, and then
or medical school.
some type of school.
And then she got a job, and in that job, connected with her soulmate. And then they stayed. Well, he's
and now she's
Australian.
living down under.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
want to know how many Mark has to cut out of these episodes.
Yeah, how many?
Fair amount.
Give us a guess.
It's hard to say because you just get into a groove and then you like look back and there's like and you're like, didn't feel like that many, but all right.
Didn't feel like 100, Sarah. You don't give us any crap, which I really appreciate. And so everyone listening, this has been, the last year we've learned so much. And we would love to hear what you've learned. If any episodes have impacted you, please tell us because that's hugely helpful. And we're still in the midst of planning what our season 2 is going to look like and what topics we're going to cover. So if there's anything that you guys want to hear, our beloved listeners, tell us.
And there's going to be lots of fun content and things to come on our website too. So check that out, rivalandqueen.com.
I did do a sneak peek of me wearing a Rival and Queen t-shirt the Friday. And we've got a lot of people asking for some merch. So,
And the mugs. People love the mugs.
And the mugs. So we're going to have some merch for you guys coming soon, which will be lovely.
And our favorite game ever.
Westy Grams is coming live on the website so that you can buy
You
it.
can buy it.
And we might
We're actually
so excited. It just
What?
choked you out.
We're rebranding it
Yeah.
to Queenie Grams
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. We thought it did.
with our beautiful silhouettes
I think
on
that we
it.
should also make like an X-rated version, like a
Like-
dirty drinking version,
I-
and then
like
a practical version.
Pictures of you guys as
No.
dogs.
No.
I mean the photos. I mean the questions.
100% not. Not that.
I mean, weirder things have happened, Sarah, but
I love how
Well, they have
Ashley said,
grams now, so
Yeah.
I'm not expecting any Westies anymore.
I love how I think we're going to do busts of
I
our
have a
silhouette.
design.
But I love that Ashley said we're going to do an X-rated pack, and you said with photos of you two, which is what I was disturbed by.
I mean, it depends how much people want to pay. for
X-rated
these
dogs?
X-rated-
Like, where do you want my head to go there?
The questions, Mark. Yeah, Ashley's right. We've got a ton of stuff lined up for season 2 and what we're going to pull together for you guys. Ashley, are there any things that you wanted to throw into this episode?
I don't know. It's been a really crazy few months. I just want to kind of throw that out there. We have to start wearing masks now by mandatory, which Sarah's not into, which no one's really into, but we understand why. So I'm really thankful that we have had this platform and the podcast to reach out to people and kind of still continue what we're doing. A lot of people
To keep our lives normal.
yeah, and they're not as fortunate as us to be able to have the setup we do and keep doing it. And thanks to Mark. So I think that I just want to put that out there.
I do have to say that's been so nice during the whole COVID thing, is actually being able to have this every week as our like safe haven and be able to connect with our guests and talk to each other.
Yeah.
God, so much love for you guys. Mark, my future EDM concert buddy.
I can't wait. Did I tell you about when I went to Jakarta? I went to the EDM festival.
No, so what I was actually thinking we should do right now was that we should do like some questions to get to know Mark better. Our producer.
Okay. Yeah, everyone already knows us.
Yeah.
More than
Well,
enough.
actually, and maybe if Mark has any questions he wants to know about us, we'll each answer 1 to 2.
Let's do it, Sarah.
Oh God, your face looks so scary right now, Mark. So before we start, I want to hear about the best concert you've ever been to. That's gonna be one of my questions for you to get to know you.
Ooh, it's a toss-up.
What? I thought it was gonna be this Jakarta thing.
And like, definitely that's one, but the other one, Shania Twain. Yeah.
Oh, I saw Shania Twain in Vegas.
Oh,
Jeff took me for my birthday. Like best gift ever.
It was amazing.
She's unreal.
It was amazing. But yeah, Jakarta was.
What happened in Jakarta?
So I went to Southeast Asia a couple years ago. The whole plan was to go to a music festival at some point somewhere. I think in Singapore. Then eventually stumbled upon the Jakarta Warehouse Festival, and it was like 80 to 100,000 people. Same as Ultra in Split, Croatia, and it was insane. It was at night because it was too hot in the day, so it went until 4 a.m. And it was there. Jeez, it was like Tiesto, Marshmallow,
Oh my
I've seen
heart.
all them. And
Dose,
so good.
Steve Aoki, Flume, Robin Skulls,
Amazing.
Richie Hawtin.
I just want to be in a
Spector.
crowd of people with 100 people touching me at once right now as you're
It is
describing this.
amazing. Hardwell, everyone.
I feel like 75% of the people that you just said were at the concert.
Ultra.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. It's the same, pretty much the same rotation. I really want to see Martin Garrix in Chicago. I haven't seen that.
All right, so that was your best concert, which sounds dope. Ashley, what is your best concert? Because I really don't know what it. Oh, I might.
Well, I did a few summers ago. We went to Boston and we saw Jay-Z and Beyonce play when they were on the Run tour together at Gillette Stadium, which was super cool because it was beautiful. It was the perfect summer night. Love them both, but but until just this past October, that memory has faded into the background.
The distance.
The distance is
Forgettable.
still there, but it's not as strong. I've seen Beyonce 3 times, love her, but a new man came into town, into my life. And Sarah knows exactly who it is. In Orlando, I saw Thomas Rhett.
I knew it was going to be Thomas Rhett.
Oh my God.
Dance with me, dance with me.
Oh my God, I love him so much. I grinned from ear to ear, and we were actually supposed to go, Sarah and I and 2 of our friends, in 2 weeks to see him.
17 days we were supposed to be in Maine
Yeah.
in crowds of hundreds of thousands.
Outdoor concert, Thomas Rhett. We were so amped. So
Think of how many hundreds of people would have been touching us at that concert.
hundreds of thousands.
Damn you, COVID. No, we're lucky. I mean, it could be worse. And they're redoing it next. I need to call Ticketmaster.
2021, Thomas Rhett, we're coming for you. That is like, I think right now our podcast dream goal is to somehow get to chat with Thomas Rhett.
It will
It's
happen.
possible.
But it's possible.
No, it's going to happen.
Well, you were like, somehow, and then I was like, it's possible. But then Ashley was like, it's gonna happen.
You
No,
sounded
it's
lackluster
happening.
on the enthusiasm.
Oh, well, season 3.
If you can see it, you can be it.
You can dream it, you can do it. So if anyone has a connection to Thomas Rhett, please, for the love of God.
I do know.
Hook
At
some
my grandmother's
gals up.
funeral, I met a lady from Cape Breton, and her son-in-law is guitar.
What?
Yeah, guitar
Where's he
man.
from?
He's not from Cape Breton, but I don't know where they met.
Is Thomas Rhett Canadian?
No, he's from or Tennessee. I don't know. Where.
One thing I do want to say I learned this season is I, in early episodes, used to give Cape Breton a ton of flack. And I just want to clarify for the record in the wrap up, I have since been to Cape Breton, to the Highlands outside of just Sydney, and it is amazing there. And so I was wrong. Anytime I bashed it or said like a less good version of Newfoundland, Cape Breton, unreal. Great place.
We're still on the fence with Sydney.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We'll
We
see.
like the West.
Yeah.
We like the West Coast. All right, Mark.
Let's do it.
We want to learn a little bit about you. So could you please tell us, what are some quirks that you have?
There's some quirks that I have.
Mm-hmm.
What are some
Interesting question. When I have TV on, the volume needs to be in multiples of 5.
Oh,
Weird.
I know what you mean.
I have like, I don't have OCD, but I have certain
Tendencies.
tendencies. Yeah.
Me too.
Wow. Okay. That's a good quirk. I'm impressed you do that. Do you have quirks? We
Oh my
always do
God,
this.
Sarah, so many.
We give a guest questions, and then I just want to know the answer about Ashley.
I don't know. I'm very particular about a lot of things. I prefer not to like say them all because I'll say them.
Okay. Let's save that one. This is like a dangerous question that like I don't even know if
This
we
is
should
about
ask him.
Mark.
This is about Mark. Mark, what website do you visit most often?
Reddit.
Really? Okay. Big Reddit fan.
What do you like to read? What
Very.
are you geeking out on?
My, like the subreddits I follow, like hockey, NFL, world news.
Do you like Twitter?
Can't follow politics anymore. It's wasteland. I'm not on Twitter. Do you see Twitter?
Yeah.
I'm on Twitter. I have it, but I try not. I mean, that's another wasteland. It's just a lot of yelling.
Here's something I don't know about you that this just came to my mind. I would love to know. What is your favorite sport?
He wants to say soccer, but he wants to say hockey, but he
Yeah.
wants to say basketball.
But like, I didn't know that you were a hockey lover.
Yeah, I grew up. My 3 sports were hockey, soccer, and tennis. That's what I played.
Also a great golfer.
Such. Okay, we then have to do a round of the things we love most about Mark because I have comments on this.
That was a lot of fun.
That was so
We're still in the golf run, by the way.
Yeah, we'll
Keep
hook
going.
that up.
But I would probably say hockey. If it came down to it.
Really?
Also-
Respect.
Football. I watch football, hockey, soccer. Watch a bit of tennis, golf,
Okay.
basketball,
Variety.
baseball. Sometimes
I'm with you.
discriminate.
Okay.
Love all the sports.
And thank you, sports, for being back.
I know. I feel like you guys are real happy.
The mornings are much different in my household.
And now you're watching Sports Center every morning.
Mhm.
That's so funny. I love that. I'm
Yeah,
happy that's
highlights.
bringing you joy. Mark, how often do you people watch?
People watching is a lot of fun.
So is that the answer?
Should I have said that in a monotone? People watching is fun. I mean, not as much anymore because I'm always on the go, but every day. I forget, there's a word for it. I don't even know if it's like an official word, but just like watching people go about their days and thinking about like, what do you think? What are they thinking about? Where are they headed? What is going on in their life? And it's completely independent of my
You'll
entire
never know.
experience.
Ooh, I like that. Like, yeah, mystery.
Mhm.
And on the topic of mysteries, Mark, what mystery do you wish you knew the answer to? This is my last question for you.
What mystery?
I feel like you love a good
Who
mystery.
built the pyramids? God damn it.
Is that what you want to know?
Probably because you could say like, you know, what are our origins, you know, where do we go when we die? But like, I don't really want to know that.
You'll never know.
Well, I don't think we'll ever know. A lot of people think they know.
I know.
You don't know.
They
I'm
don't.
just joking.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be cool to know, yeah, just who actually built the pyramids.
We'll try and find out.
We love that. Ashley, before we wrap up, I think we should express the things we love most about Marc.
Sure.
What is your favorite thing about Marc?
Marc is always in a really good mood. Do you think?
He is
You're
so pleasant.
warm and very patient with Sarah and I.
So I was actually going to say my favorite thing about you is your patience, because I don't ever feel like you are going to get upset with me.
No, like there's no bad mouthing us.
No, and if we've come to find out that you do, I think like worlds will collapse, because like
Sarah will kill you.
I don't know that kill you. I'll just feel like it's all a facade.
Who is Marc?
Can you imagine?
But you're so patient, and when we all
Calm,
golf together,
patient.
I like feel relaxed, and I want to golf with you more, because I'm like, I don't feel like you're annoyed with me when I'm taking my time and learning, and you're such like a lovely teacher.
Golf is an experience.
But I think
So much
beyond
more than
golf,
swinging of the ball.
that's true. I think beyond golf, you bring a beautiful energy to every room.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, we
Thank
just
you.
love you. You're the best.
I love you guys.
We love you. Ashley,
Sarah.
this has been an incredible first season of Rival and Queen. I think we should thank all of our listeners and everyone who's here today, because you guys were awesome, and we couldn't do this without you, and you guys listening means the world to us.
Yes, thank you. We've received so many nice messages and just embraced by people in like the best way. So thank you so much. And we definitely couldn't be motivated, I don't think, to keep doing this if we didn't get so much great feedback, and learning from people and meeting new people has been incredible. So thank
Again,
you.
if there's anyone who you think we should talk to, please tell us.
And we can't wait to see everyone on the other side in season 2. Like, get ready.
Yes, and Ashley, I want to thank you for being on this beautiful journey.
I love
with
you.
me.
I love you.
Well, I didn't say I loved you, but I do love you.
Yeah, shit.
We're holding
So official.
hands. Shall we end with a round of Western Grams?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Queenie Grams.
Queenie Grams. All right, Marc, you know the drill. 1 to 88. Please pick a 89. Please pick a question.
17.
17 is going to be.
What make a photo of this would this be of you, Sarah? What are you envisioning for 17?
Oh, tell us about your worst sunburn.
Oh God, the touchy.
Oh, I've only had a few.
But you remember them. That's a weird thing about sunburns, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. I'm honestly like, I haven't had a really bad sunburn that I can think of off the top of my head. But like, I had a somewhat bad one in Asia, but that was just an afternoon that my back was sore. Probably one point when I was younger, but I can't really remember.
Cool, sun safety, number one for you. That's great.
And that's not even.
Proud of you,
I
Marc.
don't even wear sunscreen that often. I just have that French Acadian blood. I get dark
Français.
pretty quick.
Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed. Okay, God love your Mediterranean skin. Ash, pick a number.
I would go with 89.
89. Oh, no, you don't.
88?
Yeah.
I want a new one. I feel like I've had
Eric
them all.
Pendros.
I just made up the sunburn one.
Make one up for me.
All right, let me see. I've lost the questions right now. Okay, let's do this one. I want to know what your go-to snack is right now.
What my go-to snack is?
Yeah.
Well, I just left PEI and my go-to snack was ice cream, but that's I think I did 3 times.
What kind?
Was it cows?
S'mores. I had cows once. S'mores. Yesterday I had one that was also chocolate with s'mores and stuff, but I forgot what it was called. And then I had one that was with a s'more dessert. Okay, so I had s'more chocolate ice cream 3 times this weekend. I'm happy, but I would say my go-to would be nut butter on rice cakes because it's quick and it's like still semi-healthy. And that's it.
I could have guessed that you would say that.
Yeah. Or like crackers and hummus.
What's your go-to snack?
Popcorn.
Marcus.
Peanut crackers.
Ooh, classic. What kind of cheese? Like,
Old cheddar.
oh my god, I hit up the brie today, double cream brie.
Oh, spreadable brie?
Nah, girl.
Did you have that?
I did have that. That was
That's
really
nice.
good.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to finish off with how do you say cheers in another language? Actually, we can all do this one because I think this is
I
great.
think I know.
The one that I know is Živeli. I think that's right. And that is Croatian.
Oh, damn. I did know.
I got Yaldi. I think that's what it is.
Yaldi? What's that?
Because I once worked with a party planner event girl, and we planned a party for my friend's grandmother, and she is Scottish, and that was what we put on all the straws. And I think that means, and I could be wrong, but that was on the straws, and it was meant to be cheers.
I don't know if this is a direct translation, but
Give it to us.
in French. Salute.
Salut. Santé.
Chin
That's
chin.
another one in French.
Chin chin.
Chin chin. Sure, I don't know what that
Chin
is.
chin?
Is that in France you say
Real Housewives all the time.
in France you do say santé.
Something.
But that's great. Well, for
For
everyone
everyone
listening, santé.
We love you to your health.
It's
It's been a while, season one.
We'll be
and we'll be back September 3rd. So mark your calendars. And in the meantime, we'll be on Instagram every damn day.
I love you.
Mark, thanks for coming. Jordan, oh, where can people find you?
Oh yeah, sure. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I don't post that much, but we are moving into a new studio, so I will probably be posting more often with that. That's at Marc Boudreau, MarcBoudy, and BNB Media is at bnb.media on Instagram.
We'll link that in the show notes. Thanks so much for all you do for us, Mark. We love you.
Love you too.
Bye.